it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Hip Kit Club using the January 2023 kits. It's my first play with the kits and I love the colours in this one. So I think this layout is going to feature a little bit of everything. And it's cut file day today, so I'm going to be using one of the subscriber exclusive cut files, and I've gone for the postage stamp frames. Now this cut file comes with several different cut files. You get little stamp like frames in different shapes and sizes, but I'm just using one and I've manipulated it to make it bigger, and I'm using that as kind of a frame or a base for my layout. And then I'm going to build my page with kind of two clusters along the edges of the frames, and you'll see what I mean as the video goes on. So I've cut that cut file from one of the patterned papers from the collection. It's that gorgeous rainbow coloured one. It's so bright and vibrant. I loved it and couldn't resist it. And I'm doing something slightly different with my photo today. I had a 6x4 photo and I've cut it down to, I think it's about 2.5 by 6. So it's a long thin photo, which is something I've never scrapped before. And initially when I thought out this layout, I'd planned to do 3 small square photos along the bottom. And then I saw this photo on my pile and I thought actually it would work really lovely with this kit. And it's just a photo of my little boy in front of a collection of kind of foliage and flowers on a day out last summer. We were at a kind of like a wildlife park, had different animals and things. So it's just one of those photos. It doesn't have a massive story behind it, but it's one that I wanted to document anyway. So it worked really well for this layout. So yeah, I've cut that down. I've given it a white frame with some white cardstock just to help it pop from the background. I always like my photos to have a white frame. And then I have backed it using one of the coloured cardstocks from the cardstock kit. And I am in love with the cardstock this month. I think it's the first time Kimberly has done this, but they're always double-sided, the Hip Kit exclusive cardstocks. And this month they are ombre on the reverse, which I think is really pretty. So it pained me to cut into this blue one because the ombre on the back is just such a lovely colour. But I do have 2 sheets of it, so it's okay. So yeah, back to a layer of that, and then I've distressed the edges with my distressing tool, and then I've made up a couple of the envelopes. Now these are super cute and they come in a pack cut ready, so all you need to do is just fold the edges in and voila, you have some envelopes. And obviously they're double-sided as well, so really pretty patterns. So I've just folded the 2 sides in, folded the bottom up. And then I've just put a little bit of double-sided tape just at the bottom on the inside to hold them. I didn't tape too close to the top because I knew I wanted to slot some things inside the envelopes. So I've got a smaller one over on the left there that I'm going to use as kind of an anchor to build a cluster on. And then I've got one on the right which is slightly bigger, just peeking up behind my photos, and I'm going to fill that one with some die cuts and ephemera and things. And I'm reaching for all the florals in the kit because they are stunning. We get a die cut pack of florals that I think has, it's either 56 or 59 florals and leaves in, I can't remember exactly, but it's a lot. And I really love those. I always reach for florals for my embellishments, which is really funny because when I first started scrapbooking and I made kind of more boyish layouts, I was one of those that thought you couldn't put flowers on a boy layout, like how atrocious. But I've got over that now and I love florals, so I'm always happy to see florals in the Hip Kit kits every month. So I've got some of those. I've also fussy cut some of the florals from one of the patterned papers. It's got loads of lovely clusters of flowers on, so I've fussy cut some of those, and these little green leaf sprigs you see here, those are fussy cut from that paper as well. And I'm just building up sort of a triangle around my photo with those, raising some things up on foam to bring in a bit of dimension, to make things a bit more realistic, and then I can bend the edges up and just give it a bit more texture and dimension on the page and layer those up. And I do like to keep a clean desk when I work. I find I work much better with less faffing when I've got a clean desk. I just can't stand working a mess. So clean up all the backs of my little foam pads. And now I've pulled out the other die cut pack, which we get. This has loads in it as well. And I've pulled out a couple of bits. I've got over on the top left there, I've got a little banner piece that says "A Little Glimpse of Our Life," which I thought was really cute. I almost swapped it out there for another bit. But I did go with "Glimpse of Our Life" because I thought, like I said, this photo doesn't have a massive story behind it. It was just a day out and just a quick photo we snapped as we were walking through one exhibition to the next. But it does give a little sort of glimpse of our life. And then the title for my layout down the bottom here, it says "Document This Memory." And I like that because I thought the colours went well with my photo and my layout. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm documenting a memory, no story, just something that happened. And I will write on the back of my layout a few little lines about the day and what was going on in the photo. I'm not a fan of journaling on the front of my layouts purely because I just don't like my handwriting, and I always love a layout and then I journal on it and I always regret it and think, oh, I wish I'd just not done that and done it on the back. So I've learnt my lesson many times. So now people probably look at my layouts and think, oh, she doesn't do any journaling, but actually it is usually on the reverse of my layout. So I will have the date, the location, and then a few lines about the day. So as well as my title and that little glimpse banner, I've also added a floral cluster, a little butterfly and a gorgeous little bird from that pack as well. And now I'm coming in with the puffy stickers to add some of these. Puffy stickers are one of my favourite things. I love them, and they're always in the Pocket Life kit or the embellishment kit, which makes me really happy. So I've added a couple of clouds over on the right there. I've added a little floral circle underneath my photo, just on the right hand side there, just to build that cluster up a bit, and the colours worked really well with kind of the purples and the blues, so I've tucked that down there. I'm just coming back through the floral die cut pack now. I wanted something to go just under my photo there before my title. I had this gap that was really bugging me, so I wanted to add something just to plug that gap. So I've pulled out a little like foliage bit of leaves, and then I've added another purple flower on. So I've now got a blue and a purple flower either side of my photo. So I feel that that's a bit more balanced and love how that looks. And then here is where I reach for my shimmers paints to add some splatters, and I accidentally pick up the 3 shimmers that we got in the December kit instead of the 3 pots we get in the January kit. So on this layout I've used 2 inklings. I've got Blue My Mind, which is a lovely sort of bluey gold colour you can see there, and also Naughty or Nice, which is a kind of pink colour with some silver iridescent in it. But like I say, they're the December shimmers. I had them drying on a shelf because I always sort of leave the lids off for them to dry before I put them away, and I've just picked the wrong ones up. So yeah, they're the colours from last month. But that is me done. As you can see here in the close-up, I have added the remainder of the patterned paper that I cut my cut file from. I felt like the edges of the page just needed something, so I've used what was left of that paper, because I'd cut my cut file from the centre so that I purposely had the outside to use. I've used that as a frame for my page and love how that looks. But yeah, that is me done. So thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the layout and it gives you some inspiration. I'll pop some links down below to the Hip Kit website, to our Facebook group, and also our subscription page. But thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.